Once upon a time, in a serene village nestled at the foothills of a great mountain, a wise Buddha was known for his profound stories that touched the hearts of everyone who heard them. One day, a young man named Tim, burdened by anger and resentment, approached the Buddha, seeking guidance. What happened next changed not only Tim's life, but also became a lesson cherished by generations. Watch till the end of this story to discover its core essence, and don't miss the moral of the tale. If you enjoy inspiring stories like this, make sure to subscribe, share, and like for more interesting lessons from the Buddha. Tim carried a heavy heart. He had been wronged by his closest friend, Tony, who betrayed his trust. The betrayal left Tim sleepless and consumed by anger. No matter how much he tried to distract himself, the bitterness lingered, like a storm cloud overshadowing his every moment. One day, Tim heard of the Buddha's presence in the village and decided to seek his wisdom. He approached the enlightened one, pouring out his tale of betrayal and the pain it had caused. The Buddha listened patiently, his serene expression unchanging. Once Tim had finished, the Buddha said, "Before I guide you, I need your help with a simple task. Will you do it?" Tim nodded, eager to find a solution. The Buddha handed him a large, empty sack and said, "Walk around the village and collect a stone for every grudge or resentment you carry in your heart. Place each stone into this sack." Confused but obedient, Tim set off. He thought of Tony and picked a large, jagged stone to represent the betrayal. Then he thought of his neighbor, who had borrowed a tool and never returned it. Another stone went into the sack. Slowly, he recalled every slight, insult, or injustice he had ever faced, and with each memory, the sack grew heavier. By the time Tim returned to the Buddha, the sack was overflowing, and his back ached from the weight. The Buddha looked at Tim's strained face and asked, "How do you feel carrying this sack?" "It's unbearable," Tim replied, panting. "The longer I carried it, the heavier it became. My shoulders are sore, and my energy is drained." The Buddha nodded. "This sack is like the resentment and unforgiveness you carry in your heart. Each stone represents a grudge or bitterness that weighs down your spirit. The longer you hold on to them, the heavier they become. Now, let's take a walk." They began walking up a steep hill, with Tim still carrying the heavy sack. The journey was slow, and Tim stumbled several times under the weight. As they neared the top, the Buddha stopped and said, "Tim, let's try something. Remove one stone from the sack and throw it away." Reluctantly, Tim reached into the sack and tossed a stone down the hill. "How does that feel?" the Buddha asked. "A bit lighter," Tim admitted. "Then let go of another," the Buddha encouraged. One by one, Tim began discarding the stones. With each toss, he felt lighter and his steps grew steadier. By the time they reached the top of the hill, the sack was empty and Tim was breathing freely. The Buddha turned to him and said, "Do you see the power of letting go? Unforgiveness is a burden we choose to carry. It does not harm those who wronged us. It only weighs us down. When we release it, we free ourselves to move forward, unshackled and at peace." Tim stood at the top of the hill, looking out over the village below. For the first time in months, he felt a sense of calm. He realized that holding on to resentment only imprisoned him, while forgiveness offered the key to his freedom. From that day on, Tim chose to forgive, not for the sake of others, but for his own well-being. Moral of the story: carrying the weight of unforgiveness is like carrying a sack of stones. It drains your energy, clouds your mind, and burdens your soul. Forgiveness is not about excusing the wrongs done to you. It's about freeing yourself from the grip of resentment. Let go of the stones you carry, and you will find peace and lightness in your heart. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe, share, and like for more inspiring tales and timeless wisdom.